Hey guys, so we are super colorful today and kind of zoomed in. I probably should have zoomed out for the outro or for the intro, but we're just gonna roll with it. So today's video is all about the technique of not setting your eye base when you apply eyeshadow. Now today I decided to demonstrate this with a pretty colorful eye look, as you can tell, because I feel like this does help neutrals be a little bit more pigmented, but I felt like it would be the most impactful with some really colorful shades, so that's kind of how I decided to showcase it today. But yeah, so if you guys want to know why you shouldn't be setting your eyeshadow base, just keep watching. Alright guys, so as you can see, we are kind of zoomed in to do this part of the video, and I'm just going to prime my eyes with my ColourPop No Filter Concealer. One side I'm going to set, one side I'm not going to set, and yeah, we're just going to go from there. Alright, so I am going to set this eye, and the one thing that I don't love about this technique is that it's just really with my eyelid shape, or like eyelid, just how my eyelids are. It tends to crease quite quickly on me. Any eye base does if I don't set it. I'm just gonna use the this like cream shade from my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette. But yeah, it tends to just crease on me a little bit while I'm doing my eyeshadow, but once everything's like set, or not necessarily set, but like once I'm done with my eyeshadow, I don't notice any other creasing. So this eye is set, this eye is not set. As you guys can tell, I'm barefaced right now, which is kind of how I prefer to do this method, just because I feel like when I'm using bright colors, it can get kind of messy whether I use this technique or not. So I just like to do it with a clean face so I don't really have to deal with fallout. Honestly, I'm not really sure what kind of look I'm gonna go for. I think I might do kind of a sunset look. I think I might do that because I just did a rainbow look the other day and I thought about doing that for this video, but I don't want to be too, well, maybe I will do that. I think I'm going to do that. So I have my Bad Habit Aftershock palette and my BH Cosmetics Festival Weekend palette, and these are like my two super colorful palettes, so let's just hop in. So I think I want to start with like a yellow more towards like the inner corner and inner part of my crease. So I'm just going to go into my Bad Habit Aftershock palette and take the shade Electronica. I'm just going to use my e.l.f. detailed crease brush. I just got this brush and I am already obsessed with it. So we're going to go in first on the side that has not been set, and look at how intense that is already. Holy moly. And I'm just packing this on my lid and blending it up just a bit into the crease. I don't want to blend it too high. So yeah, I think we're just going to start with that on that eye, and then I'm going to dip into the same exact shade with the same amount of product, tap my brush off just like I did with the other eye, and then we're going to go in on this eye. You can still see the color on that eye, but this eye is so much more intense, and I did not use any more product. I did not dip into the eyeshadow once again. I think that the pigmentation on this yellow is still so good on this eye. It's just a testament to how like awesome these shadows are. So for each eye, I'm not going to use like more product on this eye to make it look like this eye, because I really want to show you guys how much more effective colorful shadows can be if you don't set your eyeshadow primer. So I'm literally just doing the same exact thing that I did with the other color on the other eye. Yeah, I really want to dip in and get more product, but for the sake of this video, I'm not going to. Alright, so now I think I want to go for more of an orange shade, so I'm going to take the shade Hippie from my BH Cosmetics Weekend Festival palette. On that same exact e.l.f. brush, I cleaned it off on my little color switch thing. One dip into the product, tap it off, and then I'm just going to do pretty much the same thing, just pack it on my lid a little bit and start blending it into that other shade and up into my crease. You know, I am going to dip into this shade just one more time, and I'll do the same thing on the other eye. I want this shade, or I want this look to prove a point and show you guys how effective this technique can be, but I also want it to turn out to be like a pretty eye look and something that I would actually wear. And just dragging this up into the crease just a little bit. That's such a pretty like tangerine color. I feel like in the pan It looks more just like an orange, and then once you blend it on your eyes, it turns more like tangerine. Alright, and we're just going to do the same thing on the other eye. One dip into the pan the first time. See how sheer that is? Okay, it's not sheer, it's just not as impactful as it was on this eye, even the first layer. I'm gonna go in for my second dip, tap it off. Do you guys see how big the difference is? I feel like it's really clear in real life. I don't know if it's quite translating that dramatically on camera, especially with the orange. I feel like you can really tell with the yellow, but the orange I feel like is more on the soft side in general. So now I want to work more towards pink, so I'm going to dip into Dippy from my BH Cosmetics palette. Same brush, I cleaned it off, don't worry. One dip into the product, tap it off, and we're going to go in on the unset side. And I'm going to apply this, I kind of want to sandwich it right here because the purple is going to go on the very outer corner. Look at how pigmented that is. Holy moly. I'm alternating between packing motions and swiping motions just to get a good amount of product on there, but I don't want to swipe it all over my lid and go like crazy because we do have one more shade to put on. And I'm just going to do the same thing again. One dip into the product, tap off the excess, and then go in on the set eye. This pink is really nicely pigmented even on that set side. These are phenomenal eyeshadows. If you guys are looking for a color palette, I would go with this one. Alright, so for the final color I'm going to place on my lid, I want kind of a purple shade, so I'm going to dip into Swag from the BH Cosmetics palette. And once again, we are going to go in first on the unset eye. One dip into the product and then tap it off. So beautiful. I love this shade. I'm just kind of packing this on my outer corner and blending it up into my outer crease. Just like that. And then once again, one dip into the product, tap it off, and we're gonna go in on the set eye. But see, you can see really well with the purple too that this one is just so much more vibrant than the unset side. So before I kind of blend everything together, I think I want to amp up that orange just a little bit because I think when I did this look the other day, I used a combination of oranges. So I'm going to go into my Bad Habit Aftershock palette and I'm just going to go into the shade Chaser. It's like an electric coral, kind of. I don't know. It's gorgeous. So I'm just going to tap my brush in there one time. Tap off the excess and then just go into brighten up that. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Just brighten up the orange just a tad. Look how pretty that is. Same thing for the other eye. I feel like it's not quite as impactful on the other eye and it just like completely blends into the pink. But, so here are the eyes, unblended of course. I'll show you guys me blending them in just a second. I feel like in real life it's very apparent to me which one is more intense and more vibrant. I feel like on camera you can't tell quite as much. I feel like the most, like which shades were the most affected by the wet base were definitely the yellow and then the purple as well. Alright, so things don't get muddied up. I am just going to take that e.l.f. detailed crease brush once again. Don't worry, I cleaned it off. Last time I didn't clean it off when I did this kind of look, and I spent like half an hour trying to fix the mess that I made because I got like purple on my brow bone and it was bad. So I'm just going to very carefully blend like the pink and the purple together in like my upper crease. I think on the lid they blended pretty well, but in the crease they need a little bit of help. Just gonna blend those two together very softly. Then I'm going to wipe it off on the back of my hand to make sure that there's no product. I'm gonna move on to the pink and the orange. Rainbow looks seem really intimidating, but I found that it's just kind of a matter of patience and careful blending. Once again, wipe it off in the back of my hand, and then the yellow and the orange. Now, one of my biggest concerns when I saw people doing this technique of not setting their base was that my shadows wouldn't blend out well, but I've found that they actually blend out really, really well. I haven't had any issues with that. So I'm just gonna do the same on the other eye, finish the rest of my makeup, and then I will be right back. Alright guys, so the rest of my makeup is done. For my lower lash line, I just took Trance and I smudged that on the outer corners of both eyes. Then I smudged a little bit of Ultimate towards more the middle part of my lower lash line, and then I just took Neon, which is like this gorgeous green color. I'm obsessed with it. And then I smudged that more towards like the inner corners, and then I just took my Flower Beauty highlight and put that on my inner corners as well as on my brow bone and on my face, obviously. And yeah, that's about it for this look. I still stand to what I said before. I think this eye is much more vibrant in person and on camera than this eye. I think that the pink shade was definitely a standout shade because I feel like that one looks the same on both eyes. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something about this technique. Maybe you try this technique. I would highly recommend it because I think it's a really fun way to make your shadows more impactful. You can of course do this with neutrals as well. I just find that it's the most impactful with colorful shades, which is why I chose to kind of do a rainbow look. Yeah, it turned into a rainbow look for you guys. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel down below. I would so appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.